nerds, welcome to North Sports Dynasty. I am your host, Mr. Foops. That's it. It's just Mr. Foops. Then Mr. Andrew Fulbert. It is Friday. It's week 5 is the beginning of NFL. And we are here to talk football, obviously. We're going to talk football because that's what NFL or NSD is basically. It's, fantasy football. It's mock drafts, all basically from NFL. But we are going to be talking about some hockey in the second part of the show tonight. We got 2 special guests who are going to be on the show for that. Yes, it's hockey season. It's fucking cold up here now. Actually, it's warm up here. It's very warm, actually, in Canada right now. To the point where I'm really starting to get very concerned about this whole global warming that people keep talking about and vote against. Everybody's all like, oh, Andrew, stop it. Like, it's all a big old conspiracy and stuff. And I get it. Like, I'm all for conspiracies. But listen, it is 20 degrees right now in Canada. We have puck drop about to happen. We have no ice. Seriously, there's none. So I don't understand how the Oilers are going to do it. I don't understand how the Red Wings are going to do it. I don't understand how the fuck anybody's going to do it. So, we are, by the way, sponsored today by ZAGNIF Apparel. If I can find the right banner there. Boom. ZAGNIF Apparel, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to get shoes, shirts, no service. I asked them. They don't have service. They just send you the stuff. But they got pants, socks, shoes, all these other types of clothing. Go check them out. Use the code word FOOPS15. You get 15% off of your first purchase. All of your purchases, actually, not just the first one. All of them. So I guess, I should ask it. Like, if you buy one, you get 15% off, and then you can buy another one and get 15% off. But if you buy like 4 of them and you get 15% off all 4 of them together, does that actually equate to saving more money? This usually would be something I'm very good at, considering I have a bunch of whiteboards. I, on the other hand, am not mentally capable of doing that kind of math right now. So I would suggest probably just buy one object, then buy another, all that kind of stuff. We do have a giveaway happening at the end of the year. Possibly, maybe. I don't know. I haven't talked to really any of the other hosts. They're gone. I don't know where the fuck they went. But we'll figure it out. We'll see what's going on. ZAGNIF Apparel. Get a hold of them. See what's going on. Buy some clothes, and we shall get you in a draw. This is all the stuff we got going on today. We have the NFL Mock Draft Week 4 edition. We're going to talk about the top 10. Because I don't want to go through the top 32 because everybody's going to be like, who the hell are all these players? I don't care about any of these names until week 17, 18 when I know who my team is inevitably going to pick. These are the names that you need to start figuring out. And these are some of the names who are probably linked to some of these teams. So we're going to go into that. Talk about the NFL here in a couple of minutes. And, of course, we're going to be talking NHL with a couple of guests. Because the other guests I see arrived. So we got, both of them, which is great. So let's figure this out right now. Let's get right off the bat about the NFL and the Buccaneers. Sean Spencer says, what's up, Andrew Fulbert? Thank you for tuning in tonight. The Buccaneers are amazing. There, I said it. To everybody out there who's like, oh, Andrew, you said the Buccaneers are going to suck. Andrew, the Buccaneers. Yeah, I'm aware of what I said, okay? But at the end of the day, it's really fun to watch winning football, which is more than what other franchises can say. I'm not you guys down. I'm not talking about you guys. We're going to talk about your teams, like taking shots across the bow at other teams, more so at myself. I understand that this team is different. That maybe the whole aspect of it being a Super Bowl caliber team was obviously the core, the additions, plural, and the GOAT. You mix all 3 of those together, obviously you get 3 great years of football. We thank the GOAT for it. It's time to move on. I was the one, and I paddled that boat that was like, we're going to be in tank for May 2024. Now I'm like, we're going to have to trade up for May 2024 if we wanted a chance at that. And I don't even want to do that anymore. I don't. We have depth, respectively. We have rookies starting to pick it up. I love it. We can use another running back, just another 1B, just some dude who's going to go right down the middle. Like James Robinson, if he didn't have the injury, or Tank Bigsby, or this Jalen Warren guy that Pittsburgh has. We had just a down the middle guy like that. I think we could then compete in the playoffs, because the teams that we would have to go up against right now, you cannot sit there and tell me, Buccaneer fans, that we would have another hope in hell against Dallas like we did last year. And I know I said this 2 weeks ago. I'm completely aware. But we did show out, did we, against the Eagles? Not really. But we have shown the capabilities of this team. We're not going to give up. We're not going to go under. We're going to continue. And Baker's on the Pat McAfee show. So many people are now going to be watching the Buccaneers because Baker was on that show, and a lot of people like him now. He's got a likable personality for that type of people. And I don't mind it. At the end of the day, though, that's a $150 million quarterback. It's a $150 million quarterback. He's going to get paid. Keeps playing like this at the end of the year, even if the Bucs go 9-8. They're still going to have to pay him. They're still going to have to pay him. The Bucs will not get Drake May. I agree. We're not trading anything close to that. There's still Sean Spencer. He says we lost to the Bears. So listen, we're going to have some Bear talk here in a bit, but like, I don't understand. Sam Howell's still really nice. You guys have that in Sean Tucker. I like Sean Tucker. He needs to develop into the role because he's still got that major injury that he had, and you can still see him running like he doesn't want to break anything, pop anything. And I commend the kid for that. He's trying. He's got it. But if you had a Kareem Hunt for a year or a Dalvin Cook for a year, he can come in on third downs, not necessarily be the pass catching back, but he can come in and just add that extra little bit of speed. That's what I think the Buccaneers need to be competitive. And I want to see Tucker get into rotation. I do too. I don't want to see him, but this isn't rookie prove it anymore. You know, I think this is now the core has been here. The core is hungry, and the core wants to continue to play, and they want to feed. And the clip of Devin White and Chris Godwin talking to each other, that attitude where they're like, listen, I'm not taking shots at some of these young guys, like the young guys, but when they're sitting there and they're doing this, and the way that they're talking, they're not doing the like, oh, we're going to get him, man. We're going to get him. No, they're locked in. And it's different. It's different. And I'm going to preach it to the clouds that this is a good team. We won a championship with this core, and it's going to be competitive again. There just needs to be a little bit more. And I mean that on the offensive side. Don't touch my defense, please. Don't trade anybody out. Zion McCollum, I'm going to get that jersey pretty damn quick. Winfield, we need to re-sign him. Now, that's the other side, and we're going to do a whole show next week about it, about the off-season part of what's going to have to happen with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Because if the ownership doesn't think that this is a championship team, like I don't think it's a championship team yet. It can be. There just needs to be more parts, like I'm saying. But if ownership doesn't believe that, ownership is probably going to turn around and say, no, we cannot give Mike Evans the X amount of money for his contract. We cannot give Baker the X amount of money he wants for his contract. Winfield, one of those names that we like right now as Buccaneer fans, may not get the contract that we're hoping for. And I totally understand. And that's just on ownership, because there's the cap that actually exists. Then there's the cap that doesn't exist. And that cap that doesn't exist has already been tampered with. And I say tampered with because it has, by the championship of a few years ago. And the fact that we tried to go for it again. So is Rachaad White the answer, though? Rachaad White is a very good pass catching back, and I am so happy to have him in that backfield. And he can be a 20 to 24 carries a game, but does that break 75 yards? I don't see it happening every single time. He's going to have good games like he did, but I don't see it being that bell cow. There needs to be one more to help him. Christopher Cole says, Andrew, what's up, a guy? Antoine Winfield is just adding more Benjamins to his next contract with his play so far. And thank you for tuning in, Ben. That is exactly what I'm saying. The Buccaneers are going to be so tight for cash, just keeping that core together and then not trading any picks, using those picks to go and just adding more. But then those guys are going to want to get paid. And some of those guys are already coming up. We're a year away from seeing what we got to give Joe Tryon. We already gave Vita Vea his extension. So it's coming. We're going to have to pay the piper soon. Now, I wanted to get into this before I bring my guests on. Mock draft number 1, week 4, whatever you want to call it. We got the top 10 teams right now in order, starting from the Giants all the way up to the Bears. And we are going to do a quick little mock draft and tell you guys who I think is going to these teams. Because right now is way too early to say who's going where. But these are some of the names that you need to keep an eye on, because these are the players that if you are the owner of one of these teams up here, I don't know why I'm pointing down there. I'm right here. If you're the owner or the GM of one of these teams, you're starting to look at the crop of players available to you for this upcoming draft right now, depending on your position. Because some of these teams are being like, am I a seller? It's only going to take 1 or 2 more games to find out. Denver. Nice. Chicago's got a nice win. Give them another couple weeks before I think that they're like a full seller. What was the other one I was trying to say here? The Giants, the Patriots, Minnesota. Minnesota might start dumping Danielle Hunter. So let's get right into it. Number 10, the New York Giants. They need cornerback help. So I got them going into Alabama and grabbing Kool-Aid McKinstry. He's supposed to be the number 1 rated. I have another one rated higher, but this guy, if you talk about swag, talk about you can sell this guy to just the New York atmosphere itself. Kool-Aid McKinstry comes in, man-to-man shutdown guy. You can keep him on one side. You can keep him attached to one of those wide receivers. You could say Garrett Wilson is your guy when the Jets come here. For divisional purposes, you can say he's CeeDee Lamb, Terry McLaurin, and who the heck is the other the Eagles? That would be A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith. You can tell him that that's your guys that you have to go up against. He's more than likely going to shut it down. Arizona right now is currently with the 9th overall pick. I got them taking Brock Bowers, the tight end out of Georgia. This guy is going to be a playmaker for a very good offense. Now, this stuff on Twitter that everybody's going off about, oh, Kyler, now it's official. There's something written about the Kyler might not be here. Until we start getting to see where that pick is at, can we slow down with this Kyler Murray being traded talk? It's, in my opinion, it's getting a little ridiculous. There are Cardinal fans who have given a lot of money to an organization who has this guy already there. Use those picks if you have the ability to surround that quarterback right now with players. And if it is in his contract, it doesn't work out, then all of a sudden you have a great crop of players and you can go get one. Don't trade it all away right now for a quarterback. Go get Brock Bowers at number 9. Number 8, Ole Fashanu, the left tackle out of Penn State. He is dropping a little bit right now. You can move him to right tackle and still possibly be able to convert him to left tackle in the NFL like some of these other guys are doing. By the way, the Bucs did it first, and it's working the best. Just saying. So Cincinnati's going to need some help, especially with this whole Joe Burrow stuff going on. Just get the tackle in there. Just get it done. And he's one of the closest possible franchise tackles in there. There's another one, and we will get to him very soon. Number 7, the New England Patriots select Jared Verse, the Florida State edge rusher. This guy's tearing it up, isn't he, Ben? Hey? Your Florida State, I almost said Gators, your Florida State Seminoles are really showing up. But not only that, like Jared Verse is becoming that dog. The guy that on these run plays, like he just comes down the middle and run stuffs as an edge rusher who you would think is more pass ready. And it's so nice to see. It really, really is. So I think the Patriots don't go with a no name. I think they see this. They have the ability to go grab them, and they just take them. Number 6, the New York Jets don't select a quarterback because there's already too many selected before them. But instead, they grab their franchise left tackle in Joe Alt from Notre Dame. Get it over and done with. You get Aaron Rodgers for one more year. And then after that, you have to go and replace your quarterback anyway. So go and just throw that left tackle right there. Mekhi Becton can go and then be a right guard where I think he is going to excel a little bit more at, because he can be a run stuffer at that size and not have to just hurt himself like you keep doing to him there, Jets. Go get the franchise left tackle, call it a day, and just enjoy what he's going to bring to your franchise. Number 5, the Minnesota Vikings select Kalen King, the quarterback from Penn State. Another one of these shutdown guys. Another one of these. The press game in the NFL for corners is going to start becoming a major thing. Because if you look at the Miami Dolphins offense, one of the only ways you're going to be able to play against those motions that they have is by playing at the line and pushing up on Tyreek Hill, but within the 5, and making the referees have to throw these flags because you have Tyreek Hill pushing off and Mike Evans pushing off. Kalen King is going to be a perfect example of the new age type of cornerback you are looking for. Keep an eye on this kid. He plays with heart and he plays with a smart mentality. He will come across the field to make plays for that defense. There's a reason why Penn State keeps covering the spreads, ladies and gentlemen. Number 4, let's start playing with the quarterbacks. Denver is currently sitting there. They take Tampa Bay born Michael Penix Jr. from Washington, the lefty. Sean Payton gets a respectively undersized, depending on who you talk to. A little bit mobile. He's got the left hand. He's got this amazing accuracy. He's got a cannon of an arm if he wants to. And if you put him into that system that Sean Payton has, and you put him in that locker room with Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, and the massive amount of like subpar to very good relievers at the wide receiver position they do have at their disposal, Michael Penix might be able to actually develop into a very good quarterback. Not only that, like the whole injury thing, pretty sure Washington is being considered a number 1 overall in college. Pretty sure he's doing okay. Obviously, you don't got to thrust him into the bad weather right off the bat, but he's going to be fine. Number 3, the Raiders take Drake May. Simple enough. You're going to fire McDaniels, and you're going to get a brand new GM, and you're finally going to do things right, Raiders, because your tickets just cost way too much. I'm not going to Vegas to watch a football game at that kind of price. Number 2 and number 1. This is where, depending on who you talk to and depending on who's writing the article, there's massive opinions about this. People are saying if the Bears, because I know they won last night, and this is pre the victory, because now I think that pick goes down to like 5 or whatever. The Bears, if they had the number 1 and number 2 overall pick, could select Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison Jr. And people push back and say, Caleb would just go back to college. Agreed. I would see that as well. It's not a shot at the Bears. But all of a sudden, if at that number 2 pick, if they were smart, because if you're me, if I were the Bears GM at that point and I had number 1 and number 2, I'm taking Jared Verse. I'm getting another edge rusher, and I'm making that Bears defense the Bears defense of 86 all over again. And when you have Caleb in this aspect, what you have to do, though, is you got to go show him something. And being there at number 2 and being like, well, we're going to grab Marvin Harrison Jr. for you, the best prospect of a wide receiver that has ever come out of college, in our opinion. That's a pretty interesting deal there, especially when you got DJ Moore on the other side. You already have a very solid Komet at tight end. You have pieces on that offensive line. I don't understand why people are saying that there's not. That would be something to convince Caleb to come out of college, don't you think? And if you're Bear fans, wouldn't that be really fun? All over again? Don't you remember back in the day? And I always mix up the names. I think it was Gale Sayers was the running quarterback or whatever. And he was so amazing. It was fun. The highlights that he had. Now you can have it all over again. But let's not have me tell you about this. Let's have a couple of other Bear fans explain this better than I can. And let's have them tell you exactly where they should have their picks go. So starting it off, let's bring in my co-host of the Off the Boards show, hockey show that we used to do, that we're still going to do. We just don't know what the hell's going on with it. I'm busy. He's busy. Mr. Matt Bannon is in the house.
Hello. Thank you for having me. It was, oh God, just the word fun, Andrew, and the Bears. It's been so very long since those two things have ever come close to each other. Yesterday was probably a little teensy brief highlight of it, but fraud is a better F word to describe the Bears team right now.
Well, let's bring in another guy who I know swears the F word at these Bears a lot. But I know that you guys still got faith, and this guy's got faith. From the Greek himself, from the 1252 or 1252 under, the over and under 1252 Sports on the Sports Web with Peter Blake, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Harry the Greek. How are we doing tonight?
Matt, Andrew, how the hell are you guys doing? Everything good?
Good. Oh
yeah, good on my end, buddy. Listen. Anytime I get to do my show on Friday, where I'm not sitting here just like tired as all hell, like it's all good. I may have indulged in some sort of other substances to be able to stay awake right now, but
you have to pass.
Yeah,
come on.
Pass. Can I have just a little bit? Here.
Just a little.
Thank you.
There you go. You're welcome.
Hang on, man. Hang on.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, it was like that is going to be a great
Andrew.
clip. Yes.
Andrew. Boy, you touched on so many different things. I love all your diatribes. Matt, how you been, buddy? I'm going to be a little loquacious here, but I just got to attack my boy over here.
Sir, you're fine. Go for it.
Going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Mm-hmm.
If you remember in the preseason, everybody was down on them, including yourself, and I have to say there was a couple of people standing on a soapbox shouting from the mountaintops going, time out. This team can win a minimum of 10 ball games, whether it was Trask or Baker Mayfield.
Yep.
Look, unfortunately, Baker's playing for a contract, and it's not going to be for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yep.
I'm sorry. Tampa cannot afford to pay him what he's going to be worth. Tampa's going to win this division because it's the worst division in the entire National Football League. Plus, there really are no superstar NFC teams. So why not Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Because it's San Francisco, and then the other group of teams are going to be Philadelphia and Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yep.
That's it.
And Detroit.
So hold on. You know what? Damn it! I keep forgetting about them.
Yeah, I keep forgetting they're in the NFC.
It's San Fran, Detroit, and then you have Dallas and Philadelphia.
Yep.
But you know what? You got to group Tampa Bay Buccaneers in there with Philadelphia and Dallas because this team is sneaky good, especially defensively, Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
And Baker Mayfield is by far the best quarterback in football on the play action pass. Nobody in football doesn't like Baker Mayfield on the play action. I dare someone to tell me he doesn't look like Steve Young or Montana the way he runs that ball in there. I didn't say he's Steve Young and Montana. It's just the way he does that. But yeah, one Greek over here did say this team is going to be able to start running this year. And you know what? I'm having a good time watching it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Matt?
You're not wrong. I mean,
Give me a
nice
break.
Up there on your high horse right there right now.
No, I love it. I absolutely love it. And Andrew, I'm not busting your balls or anything,
No.
but
Of
I
course.
just got so tired of hearing about it. And then I'm watching this team, and I'm watching what they're doing. Whenever you have Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, and you have other speedy wide receivers. I keep forgetting the young man that's out there, and everybody's down on the running game.
Trey Palmer.
It's not, in especially Trey Palmer. But the running game is going to be just fine. I don't care if they get 100 yards a game on the ground, as long as you're committed to run the football. Their play action pass is going to go up. This team is better than it was last year with Brady under center, and you
agree.
can take that to bank.
I agree with that. Only because last year I think we were scraping wins.
He didn't want to play.
Exactly. We were scraping wins by, getting him off of some of the bad teams, obviously. But Brady just going out there and just doing a day's work is enough to still beat half of the teams that were in the league as well. And that's why we got 8 and 9. But then, of course, like we were playing the Rams and the Cowboys and the Steelers, and it was like, we're not a good team, And now, to your point about quarterback with Baker, I agree. I think that Baker, that's why I say he's a $150 million quarterback. He's getting a contract somewhere. The heck, at the end of the season,
he's going to get a contract. They just can't pay him here. They're not going to be able to do it.
Minnesota would be a good place for him, probably. I've even said if he wanted to take a small pay cut and he wanted to go to the Jets and wait kind of thing, I think that wouldn't be too bad. I still think
the Jets missed the boat when it came to Baker. But then again, it's very unfortunate. And I can't stand Green Bay, and Aaron Rodgers can kiss my ass from here to the end of the earth. Okay. But I didn't want to see the guy get hurt the way they did.
Of course not.
Okay. That's just horrible for one of the all-time greats for that to happen. But, going back to the Philadelphia game, after watching the replays, everybody's like, they can't play with Philly. Look, I stood on a soapbox. One of the 8 losses that you had here is I had Tampa Bay on the money line to beat Philadelphia. And if you line the two teams up again, I would still take them. I've never seen so many 7-step drops with a suspect offensive line going against arguably the best defensive front 4 when you should be hitting slants and being more committed to running the football. But you know something, bro? Let me tell you something. If there were 2 plays that were different in the first quarter in that game, we're talking about possibly a completely different outcome. The drop pass in the end zone, and don't forget about the scoop pick 6 that was right in his hands. That you go up 10-0. Now you're taking Philadelphia away from the run game, Andrew, and you're making them pass the ball. And what does Tampa do best, especially on that front 7? They lick their fingers, they pin their ears back, and they get after the quarterback. That, my friend, may have turned out different. So they lost 25-11 or whatever the hell the score was. That game was a lot closer than what people think.
Yep, two score game. And to be honest, I knew we were probably going to lose that one because Baker needed to be showed, a little bit of a good team. Because like I had said as well, we weren't playing good teams at the first 2 weeks. Minnesota was like, whoa. And of course, we played the Bears, who I just will never understand why Justin Fields was sitting in the pocket for 6 seconds. And there was a few times where I'm like, okay, go, my guy. that was all him.
Okay. Well, here you go. Now we're going to get into the meats and bones of this. And Matt, you can jump in anytime you want.
I probably will. Don't worry.
I watched this game. Look, man, this team is sneaky good, but they're also really sneaky bad. And a lot of that has to do is because it's a combination of coaching. They're trying to do something. They got to check that pride at the front door. Okay. Justin Fields is not a pocket quarterback. Let me say it again. Justin Fields is not a pocket quarterback. He doesn't see the field well, but for some reason, when he's rolling out of the pocket, his vision just enhances. Okay. And I've never seen that in a quarterback. There's one kid named Jackson down in Baltimore that cannot see the field even when he's running and taking off like Justin does. Justin Fields is a better quarterback than even Jalen Hurts in the proper system. Now,
yes,
I can see that.
In the Tampa game, they called not 1, 2 design rollouts for him. 2. There, after doing the coach's tape and watching the game, there were 7 different plays that Justin Fields was in the pocket, staring at the receiver who's wide open off to his left, nobody within 10 yards, and he's looking at the ball and just, it was like he couldn't see the receiver.
You could have him like in high visibility garb, literally be 8 feet tall. He's never, like you said, never going to see the guy. But as soon as like, a little bit of pressure and he's rolling out, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, literally 4 guys on him. Oh, wait, hold on. There he is. And just shuck it. Like, it's no big deal. Time, I feel like, is his worst enemy, which is something that Bears quarterbacks, arguably for the last few years, have never really had until, well, they've gotten more recently. But I mean, our O-line used to crumble a lot more. So it was like quick 2 seconds. I feel like last year, too, that's why we saw, granted, not a lot of passing with him. I might be wrong just from what I'm feeling. But he threw better because he had more pressure and less time to think. Or
he was rolling out.
Yep,
they were actual design rollouts. You see, with Justin Fields, he can't look at 3 reads. The average quarterback in the NFL can look at 3 reads, and really great quarterbacks can look at 4 and then do the check down. Justin needs to look his first read. If it's not there, maybe the second read, pull the ball down, roll out, and start taking off. All of a sudden, the field becomes open. If you notice when he's running, his head is never down. It's always looking downfield. And that is one thing that's impressive. Here's another thing about Justin Fields that's impressive. They fixed his delivery. It's not coming from Texas and over through Minnesota. But people ask, well, Greek, you're speaking out of both sides of your mouth now. He sat in the pocket and threw the ball. That's because they were effective at running the football, and he didn't have the bull rush coming up in front of him. And it does help to have a beast by the name of Tevin Jenkins, that is absolutely manhandling one of the best front fours in the entire National Football League. And he could see the field. And don't get me started on DJ Moore. Oh, my God. Did the Bears fleece the Carolina Panthers this year? Are you kidding me? You know what? It's just unbelievable. But, Andrew, I wanted to say this.
Go ahead.
David Montgomery was not Eberflus's guy. They said this last year. That's why he didn't have very many miles on the wheels, and he's tearing it up in Detroit. But what was also mentioned, and sources through Chicago have told me, that neither was Justin Fields. But here's the problem. Poles is going to make this work, and I'm going to tell you why. Eberflus is not going to get in his way. Had Eberflus lost that game against Washington yesterday, it would have been the first time in the storied franchise that they probably would have fired a head coach in the middle of a season. It's never been done in Chicago. So they're going to build around this man. Let me tell you something. Something special is happening in this city, and it's 2 weeks in a row, and he just needs to learn how to continue to win. He choked it in that Denver game. People saying, look at the game, he had the 4 touchdowns. Son, you have to hold on to the football, and you can't throw a pick in the fourth quarter. It's not because the defense, everybody knows the front 4 sucks. Their secondary and their linebackers, there's something special there.
Yeah.
But they can't get the pass rush. But they still have to put 25 and 30 points up on the board every game to be able to win, and this team is very capable of doing it. And as far as the draft is concerned, it wasn't Caleb Williams I was looking at, sir. It was Mr. Drake May. That's who I wanted. If they were going to go to a quarterback, they already have Caleb Williams, and his name is Justin Fields.
Yep. Now, see,
But hold on. It's going to be Eberflus's guy.
Yeah.
Okay? Just like Mitch Trubisky wasn't Pace's guy.
Nope.
Fucking number.
And by the way, Matt,
I was going to say, he's got his.
Matt, let me ask you a question.
Yeah, lay it on me.
Everybody hated Mitch Trubisky, but you can't deny what his record was. And everybody hated what Ryan Pace did in Chicago. Let's take a look at his record in 2 playoff spots. We got a quarterback. We got a quarterback with a worse record right now than McNown back in 1999. Okay, and that's the reality. But I seen something yesterday, and that was that spark. It was that light bulb. And you know what? There's 2 common denominators. They let the kid play like they were supposed to. They called the game plan for him. And there was 1 wide receiver that's no longer a Chicago Bear. 2 weeks in a row, this offense has come to life. Chase Claypool can't fuck you up. Boop. Did
I
say
agree.
that?
Yeah.
Oh, it's NSD. Of course you can say the F word.
Dude, I don't do that. You know
I
that.
didn't get sold to ESPN. Don't worry.
Yeah.
So a couple comments.
And I talked too much today. I'm sorry.
Why do you think I called you guys on? Then I don't have to talk so much, which is also good.
Giving his voice a rest. Yeah.
Yeah.
And how about the Minnesota Vikings? Is this not the best
Yeah.
1-3 team I've ever seen in my life?
Right?
I mean, I'm not kidding you. And again, they did nothing to address that defense. You know what they remind me of? A really, really good Atlanta Falcons team. Someone that doesn't address the defense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, that's a good one.
Yeah, but a lot better offense. I mean, come on, give me a break, man.
Couple comments I wanted to make just with what you said.
And
First
Green
off,
Bay
on
sucks.
the reads that you were talking about. I actually had a coworker who's an old man, and he's probably watching. Shout out there, Gary. And
Did you call your buddy Gary an old man?
I did, because I'm gonna get it on Monday, and that's perfect.
Gary, much love, brother, much love.
He is a diehard Steelers fan, but diehard football fan in general.
Oh, cool.
And he watched the highlights, and he was like, "I had no idea that Bears team was playing because Dick Butkus passed away." And that's what me and him had talked about. Is obviously the Justin Field reads. He said. Exactly what Harry said. Do 2 and go. He's like, screw Darnell Mooney. It's look for DJ, look for Cole, and then go kind of thing. And if one of your running backs are there, sure. But if not, just go. But he said that team looked amazing playing for something. And it was almost as if they were like, we cannot lose when Dick Butkus just passed away.
No,
like
can't.
that cannot
That's
happen.
a sin. Like they couldn't come back if that happened. So
I was a little boy. I wasn't born. Actually, was I? Wait, he was drafted what? 65? I would have been not
Sounds
even
right,
a thought yet. I was born in 66. Long story short, he was the second. No, Gale Sayers was the second pick in the first round, and Dick Butkus was the third pick in the first round, and they were taken in the same year. And people don't realize that. A lot of people don't realize that. But as I was a young boy and I used to go to the games. I remember him coming out of the tunnel, and you could hear him. I mean, it was X-rated, bro. I mean, just coming out of the tunnel. He reminded me. He would have fit so well in the '85 team. He would sit up at the 50-yard line, looking at the opposing quarterback, going,
"Yep, so that's what we."
And he's doing
right
this
there.
at the. I'm not kidding you. I remember a game that he hit a guard so hard, coming through on a blitz, and the quarterback took the exchange. He drove him back into the quarterback and knocked them both out of the game in one shot.
Very good.
Oh, he was insane.
Legendary, right
Dick
there.
Butkus was like, obviously the one joke aside is the fact that he was the SNL skit and all that kind of stuff. But that being said, he was the one person where you're like, you go ahead and make fun of him for his name or whatever you want to do, kind of thing. The man could hit. The man was, you did not want to play along or against him. That's for damn sure.
Tank.
It was the perfect storm of events. Dick Butkus passed a short week. Washington just played beyond their abilities the Sunday before it, almost being the Eagles. Plus, Justin had found his new groove against Denver, a recipe for disaster for Washington.
It's okay. People can just say the Bears just kicked their ass. How about that?
Yeah. Well, that is also Sean Spencer. He is a diehard Commanders fan, so he is definitely upset losing to the Bears fan because he's also got a lot of Bear fans. Friends.
Sean, I never thought that team, being 6.5-point favorites, was going to come out like that. Seriously, bro, I did not see that happening.
The highlight, though, that I think, and Sean, I'm glad that you're watching for this, is they showed at the beginning of the game before the kickoff actually happened. Is that little video of the old players coming back to DC and having that conversation and stuff. And as soon as they switch it over to ESPN or to Fox or wherever they're showing the stuff, and they got the chef right in the middle there. And the first thing that he says when he gets that microphone is, we definitely need to do something about this name. Like, we need to change this name or something. So that was really fun to see. I hear that too. Yeah. Who is that? I think all three of us are like, what is that?
No, I just want to see if that was me.
I was like, is that me?
It's got to be Matt. He's got them
Probably.
lizards running around in his bedroom there.
Jesus,
Something's
Matt.
I'm kidding. Hang on, let me see
Always
if I
gotta
can.
make it about me. Still
Yeah, that is Matt. Yeah, that's it.
Matt.
me and Harry got all quiet there for a second. And we were like,
Yeah.
there it
Yep.
is.
That's Matt.
That's
You
all
want
I-
to hear a real cool Dick Buckus story?
Of course.
Years ago, I used to sell programs at the old Sombrero for Tampa Stadium. And this is when I kind of first moved down to Florida years ago. And I was selling programs because a certain amount of proceeds would go to the youth football leagues for, around in Pinellas County here in the St. Pete area. We were allowed to get to the stadium 2.5 hours before game time to get set up. And our job was to go ahead and sell programs in the stadium. And you had to do that midway through the first quarter. And once you were done selling programs, you can find a seat anywhere you wanted in the stadium. So I'm there about 2 hours before game time, and I had my programs, and I'm walking along the concourse, and there's this guy, and he's got this newspaper in front of his face, and he's got a hot dog right here in his drink. And I kind of just walk around and look, and I was like, oh, my God, it's Dick Buckus, because the Bears are playing. The Bears are here in Tampa.
Mhm.
And I said, hey, Mr. Butkus, how are you? And he goes, pretty good. I said, you mind signing the program for today for me? I says, I've been a huge fan, Sure, kid, no problem. He signs it, he puts it away, and I put it in there. So we're just talking. How did you end up in Florida? Was making small talk. And then all of a sudden, I turn around, and there's hundreds of people surrounding him at the concession stand going,
Yep.
Mr. Butkus. He turns around and he goes, fuck, kid, thanks a lot.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he said. And he just walks away, puts his newspaper down, throws it down like this, puts his hot dog in the garbage,
Yep.
and he just goes. And it's not like he could walk fast, because anybody that remembers Dick, the guy could barely walk. He was limping, from so many times he was getting hit. True story. That was my Dick Buckus story. And he was working.
amazing.
The reason why he was down here is because he was working with, I think it was WMAQ out of Chicago, when he was doing, it wasn't, I wouldn't say play-by-play. What was it, Matt Bannon? Matt, was that play-by-play back then with him, or was he just?
I think it was closer to color commentary with him. He would
Yeah.
chime in. That was more his style, like obviously interjecting things, whatever he felt, right or wrong. So,
Yeah, but
I
that
think
was
it
a
was
really.
more,
I had to tell a Dick Buckus story. I mean, it was
Of
just
course.
a lot of fun, bro. It was a lot of fun. And I used to go to. And I got one last story for you, and it has nothing to do with Dick Buckus. This has to do with my brother who just died a year and a half ago. Huge fan, loved hockey, loved baseball, loved all kinds of sports. And I was like, Louis, I got this gig. I sell these programs over at the stadium. We get to watch the game. And Gus Frerotte was the quarterback. Well, the year before, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were playing them, and I would go down on the field, and while the kickers were there, we would warm up, and I'm throwing with Gus Frerotte, and hey, Louis, come on down. I want you to meet somebody. Louis, this is Gus. Gus, this is my brother Louis. And because he was screwing around kicking field goals, and he goes, hey, dude, you the kicker? Gus Frerotte was in the Pro Bowl the year before.
Yeah,
hey, you the kicker? He looks at me and he goes, hey, Harry, deuces, bro. I'll see you soon. And then I looked at my brother Louis. He says, what was wrong? And I said, Louis, that's why they call it dope, okay?
Your brother sounds like he was a legend. I will give him that.
Louis was awesome, bro. Louis was awesome. When he smoked, he got really philosophical.
Yeah. In Gus We Trust, Washington loved Gus Frerotte. That's true. Sean Spencer, again, thank you for tuning in. Your brother, you said that your brother was also a hockey fan, so he's probably going to be enjoying this conversation, because we're going to transition it over to a little bit of hockey talk.
Oh boy.
We're going to be talking about a little bit about the Chicago Blackhawks, because they seem to be the worst team in the league that has the most public, the most viewed games. Like, I looked at just basic cable and I'm like, why can I see more Blackhawk games than I can see like Maple Leaf games? Like, what in the actual hell is happening? Oh,
Isn't
wait.
his name Connor Bedard?
That's right.
Oh, that rings a bell. Yeah, hold
I mean,
on. Huh.
this guy is like poised for a massive rookie season amid comparisons to Connor McDavid and Sidney Crosby.
Mhm.
I mean, let's be real. I mean, when he was 16 years old, from what I understand, he played in the Western Hockey League's Regina Pats. And anybody who plays with Regina, let me tell you something. You know what I'm talking about. But hey, man, I don't know much about it. You know what? And I don't even know much about this Blackhawks roster because I'll tell you what, we lost Patrick Kane, we lost Jonathan Taves, and you know what? We just got Patrick Kane 2.0. Not 1.0.
No,
This is
it's-
2.0. This kid is he? I mean, honestly, I'm going to be here and be like a kid, and I'm going to shut up because I'm going to let you guys talk because you obviously know a lot more hockey than I do. I mean, I love the sport, but man, almighty sakes, are they going to be a really good team this year? Or you think they're just going to be exciting to watch and they'll be competitive?
Start it off.
I'm gonna go with the latter. I think they are going to be exciting as hell to watch. And like you said, Bedard has been compared to just about everybody under the sun that's worth their salt in hockey times, I guess you could say. And like you said, Kane 2.0. I'd wager he's honestly Taves and Kane in the same person because he's filling out the center role for Taves. The captaincy is vacant. Thank God they didn't give it to Seth Jones. That's all I'm going to say on that one. So he can step into it next year. And this is like ridiculously fast, and his IQ with the puck and just the rink, from what I've seen, granted, still preseason, so grain of salt with that, is absurd. But we've only won the 2 out of 5 tilts so far, and granted, still preseason. But I mean, it's going to be fun to watch. My goal for the season coming in was aiming for 50-50. If we could get like about even on the wins and losses, I'd look at that as a great season. And with what I've seen, I think that's very doable.
When I watched him skate, I compared him, and again, people don't throw rocks at me when I say this. You know, he's a former Tampa Bay Lightning, a kid by the name of Martin St. Louis, and let me tell you something. He was one of the fastest. He was one of the fastest skaters I have ever seen. He's as fast as St. Louis, and he's got more skills. I mean, like a lot more skills. It's just he's an exciting player, and it's really cool to know that the Blackhawks, they ended up with him. Do they open up their wallet? Does the Chicago organization, do they open up their wallet and do they surround this kid this year, or you think it's going to be next year before they start bringing pieces to him?
I think right now with what we've done, we brought in Hall, Foligno, and Perry. Like we were saying, much faster, much more aggressive, much more fights. Yes, which is what we need, which is what I was talking about with bringing in Perry, Foligno, and all of them, is that they're on, granted, Werner, small 1-year contracts or whatever, and then Athens CU has 2. I think this is going to be a good year to, I guess, flush out the depths of what he needs, which is obviously other than experience. But I think next year is when we can start seeing, or I guess cap heavy investments, if that makes any sense. Because we have like 12 mil still in space.
Yeah, because you still got Tyler Johnson on one more deal, and
Tyler Johnson's on this team.
Yeah, and he's
former
taking
Lightning.
And he's taking up about 6 mil.
Why?
It was one of those back. It was back when a year or 2 years ago, Chicago took him on a cap dump, so they got picks and him for.
And we got him for what's his name? I can't remember him.
Oh, was he? He wasn't part of the Hagel trade, was he?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, he was part of the Hagel trade.
Now, who are they going to have this year between the pipes?
I think right now we're looking at Comesso and
I'm trying to remember the other one.
Yeah, I'd have been here all day just on him.
Peter Mrazek.
Yes.
All right,
I would have been here all day.
Yeah,
I would have been here all day.
Crawford. It's Crawford.
Yeah. There you go, man.
God, I wish. Bring him back. That was awesome.
Who was the other one with not it was just before
Darling?
Crawford.
Oh, Niemi?
Niemi.
Yeah.
Oh, Niemi. The good old Niemi days. I
Niemi was.
hated
Let me tell you something. He was a lot of fun to watch. And
Niemi
he was,
was
He
so
was.
much fun.
and he was gritty, man. I mean, I remember one game that he had a fight with the opposing goalie. I love
Yes.
that one.
Oh,
Yep.
goalie fights are always the best, and he
Mhm.
was never afraid to step into anybody
Nope.
for it, which is a quality I.
Niemi. Oh my God. Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why, besides Chris Osgood, because biased Red Wing, obviously here. My favorite goalie of all time has been Evgeny Nabokov when he played for the San Jose Sharks.
Yeah.
That guy could have single-handedly took the Sharks to the finals because, my God, that guy still one of the greatest saves of all time, in my opinion. Where that was an open net, and he literally
Yeah, he
had
literally
no
just-
business getting his glove
Thank
to the
you.
top of that net. That was insane. Continuing on, though, I wanted to add on to the Bedard talk here.
Yeah.
Bedard also has this beautiful thing that me and Matt have talked about when we did our hockey show. He has the accuracy that I have never seen before.
Whoa.
Nope.
What?
So this
Seriously?
kid,
He's that good?
so they did a breakdown on ABC or Sportsnet or something like that, and they showed his elbow, and it was the thing that I had talked about with Matt the whole time, that flipping elbow on this kid. So when they show pictures of Connor McDavid and Ovechkin and Brett Hall and some of the other OGs,
You just talked about some of the best players ever
Yes,
to
sir.
sit up on a rink.
yes, sir. And when they line up and they do the slap shots, how the elbow is, but when they also get in and they do those wristers and how the elbow kind of guides where the puck goes, Connor Bedard has this ability to see exactly where that puck is going to go. And it's the problem is the goalies and the opposing people think the puck is going somewhere else.
Yeah.
For real.
It's the way the stick is, the way his elbow is, you can almost see like this little like twitch, like he can almost like flex his elbow, and the puck just goes with it. It's absolutely insane when you get to see the metrics broken down of it.
Yeah.
And that's where I think that his game almost makes, I think you give him 2 more years of it, and if McDavid doesn't solidify himself getting a cup, that's where McDavid's gonna be like, fine, I'm just gonna learn this skill now, and that's how I win my cup. So Bedard is very, very special. And to add on with what you were saying about when do they add talent to him, they have drafted well. They do have Raquel.
They've drafted very well so far.
Yes, they got Raquel. They got a goalie that
But
they can
doesn't
now
that
develop.
typically take a couple of years to really develop, especially in the season NHL?
Yes.
Now Raquel will probably come in next season to be full.
Next season is what's projected. Yeah.
Yeah, and he'll probably be on the line with Bedard, kind of like but if Bedard wants to pass and just get a stick near the net, that's what Raquel is going to be.
Yeah. We've also got Wyatt Kaiser coming up too. I think next year.
There's
similar,
your other
but
sniper.
Much bigger. Yeah.
Yeah, there's your right winger when Bedard's like, I'll just let him snipe. There you go.
Yeah, here you go. Everybody's on me. You can do it now and just right in.
Yeah. I do think they go after in the offseason after this year, Devon Tays from Colorado.
Good player.
You can, very good player. You can probably get the best out of Caleb. Out of Seth, not Caleb. Or wait, do you have Caleb too?
No, he was actually just waived by the Kings earlier today. Yeah.
But talking about grit, do they have anybody on this team, Matt or Andrew, that's going to be like their enforcer? You know, the silent guy. Who is it? Because
Corey Perry. Yeah, Paul. Corey Perry is
that guy. The guy that just doesn't take shit. I mean,
I
one's going to be gritty.
I was talking to Andrew earlier, and I was telling him, I'm like, it is the weirdest thing to be rooting for Corey Perry. Like, it is just so strange, especially like because he's been obviously it's been getting a bit more physical as we get towards the regular season starting Tuesday, I think.
Yes,
but like again, seeing him step up, and I'm applauding Corey Perry for getting in a fight at the UC. Never in my life did I ever think I was going to do that, but loving it so far. So
they got one guy. They have looked at bringing in. Oh my God, the other guy from Tampa. The long-haired dude. Why can't I think of his name? Patrick Maroon.
Yeah.
There is the possibility that both of those guys
Buffalo
could come
still
in.
playing anywhere in the league?
Mm-mm.
Is he done now? He did retire. He was a lot of fun to watch in his prime, man.
Yep.
Him on the Jets,
Well,
like, I mean,
Oh my
I
God.
him on the Blackhawks, I get it. Okay, you guys had you had awesome Stanley Cups. Fuck off about it. Okay?
It was great. Should have been there.
yeah.
You know what? You know what's even better? Thank you for Marion.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, that was a great.
Let me tell you
get.
something.
Wow.
This team really turned around. It was really great to have the dynamic duo, but when you added Marion Hossa, oh my God!
When we had Hossa, when you had Hossa, when the Penguins had Hossa, that whole 3-year stint he had of just winning cups, that
good.
little bastard.
I was at his banner raising ceremony last season too. That was very nice.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I got a little banner. It's hanging up in my apartment right now.
Also,
Do
only
you
because
guys remember an old Canadian player? He just recently passed away. Cliff Pennington. Now I want you to think about this. This goes back into the '60s. If I'm not mistaken, he played when there was like only 8 teams. He played in the Canadian Olympic team. I think he scored a goal. And he played against Bobby Hall and everybody else. Yeah, just a little shout out to him. But you ever Google him, Cliff Pennington? You're going to be pretty impressed with what his stats were. He was unbelievable.
I'm putting it down for after the show.
I was gonna say, now I'm gonna have to look it up.
Yeah, because I
While you guys are talking, I'll look it up for you.
Yeah. I was gonna say, oh, there we go. He played for the Bruins. It looks like.
Yes, he was a
teams,
Boston
yeah.
Brewer. He did play for Boston.
Why am I searching up Bruins in my house?
I was gonna say, how dare you? It was a Trojan horse.
Well, back then there weren't too many teams to play for. There was like
That's
8.
fair, yeah.
It's funny because I have taught my kids. I'm like, there's 2 teams in this house that we don't allow. Who are they? They're like the Saints and the Bruins.
Blues.
Oh yeah, you're the. I know you really hate the Blues. You're all
The Blues? I hate the Blues and I hate the
the Blues
Packers and
out
I
of
hate. You ready for this, Matt?
Yeah.
I hate the Cubs.
I don't have anything immediately Cubs next to me.
Why?
Do I?
It was a
No, I don't.
128-year curse that finally got broke. Like
That was awesome.
Hey, the Greek brought another goat to Wrigley. Ain't gonna happen.
There you
baby.
go.
You do know the goat. I don't hate the Cubs. I'm only kidding. I'm from Chicago, and people know you can root for one or the other. But I tell everybody I'm a closet Cub fan. I'm a huge White Sox fan, but I'm a closet Cub fan. I come out of the once in a while going,
fair.
Could they make the playoffs?
There's
too bad.
There's 3 baseball series in my lifetime that I've watched, like from front to back, that are the most memorable. The Blue Jays versus the Rangers with the Batista bat flip. That one, that the whole game, that whole 5th inning was amazing. The second one for me is the one we were just talking about. Sorry, because I'm having a brain fart. What's the guy's name again there? We were just talking about it. Sorry.
It wasn't
Cubs?
Cliff Pennington. You didn't know who he was.
No. The Cubs. That's the team. The Cubs. The Cubs versus the now Guardians.
Guardians,
Indians.
then Indians. Yeah.
Yeah, that series was awesome because I was like, the Cubs are coming back. I don't care what anyone says. I was like, there's no way they got this far to lose. They're coming back. And
if sports gambling was legal, I would be a million from that game alone right now. I could tell you that much back then. Oof.
And then, of course, my number one is because I'm biased, but also because I watched that game and I was crying, was the Matt Freese St. Louis Cardinals over the Texas Rangers.
You know what? I like the Cardinals.
I do too. I know.
Sorry, Cubs fans.
Awesome,
I like the Cardinals.
Yeah, it's the one. It's the only St. Louis team I cheer for. And it's only because when I was growing up in Thunder Bay, everyone was like, "You're going to be a Leafs fan." Well, screw all you guys. I'm going to go cheer for the team that actually has the colors of our flag. Thank you very much. And then I got into baseball, and they're like, "You're going to be a Blue Jays fan or an Expos fan?" And I'm like, "I'm going to go cheer for another team that has the Canadian colors." Thank you very much.
But Andrew, you have to understand, bro. Only good guys wear black.
I mean, that's fair.
That's what we say in the South Side, right?
I don't cheer for any teams that wear black, but I know you're a White Sox fan. Hold on, the White Sox won in 07?
05.
05.
That was a fun one. I was just getting into baseball when they had won the World Series.
They did things on that in the playoffs that hasn't been done since the 37 Yankees. I mean, it was just unbelievable.
That was a good one.
That year was just unbelievable. And here's a little tidbit. Everybody, watches and follows me knows I'm really good friends with a couple of former players. One in particular, Mr. Roberto Hernandez, former closer of the White Sox, former closer of the Rays, 337 saves, and his kids are both baptized by one Ozzie Guillen.
Okay.
And
Wow.
I had asked, I says, was there really any truth to the rumor that Ozzie was possibly going to remanage, the White Sox this current season? And he says, yeah, there was. He says, but Kenny Williams and him, they just couldn't stand each other. Anyway, long story short, all season long, Ozzie's going, yeah, you could have had me with this team. You could have had me with this
Oh,
team.
yeah.
And now they blew up the entire organization.
Mhm.
And
Poor
who
White
knows?
Sox. Poor.
You might be seeing him coming really soon to a ballpark near you, because he's not allowed to play for any other team in Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew that, Matt.
I did know that one, actually, yeah.
He's completely blackballed.
Oh,
Unfortunately. Oh, he's blackballed. You can't go Viva la Castro. He was just goofing around.
Yeah.
You just can't do that. I just don't know why, but you just can't do that.
That's fair. I mean, we allow a bunch of other people to say stupid stuff on TikTok, but
Yeah,
whatever.
Ozzie Guillen, it was the manager that 28 other managers wish that they were, because whatever was here just came out here. Just ask Jay Mariotti.
Ooh. I'm trying to think of the GM that was
Andrew,
on the Pat McAfee show as well.
All you have to do is Google Ozzie Guillen, Jay Mariotti. You'll understand exactly what I mean.
There's another.
Matt
Google
knows what it is.
I know, yeah. I'll let you discover it for yourself.
Yeah, he has to go to sensitivity training. How about that one?
I did want to go back to hockey just to finish it off again.
Sorry, man.
No, dude, are you kidding me? Dude, you're all good. I'm just listen. I'm good at transitioning it all back to where it was. Okay, even though I am a stoner, I have a mind that goes exactly where it needs to go.
Just do something stupid. I'll tell you the same thing I told my brother. That's why they call it dope.
That's right. And I'm soon going to be growing some of the best stuff ever. Anyways, talking about hockey before we round things up here tonight. A lot of people have been saying, what about the Red Wings? Because everyone's waiting for my Red Wing
looking like a
prediction and stuff.
team this year.
No,
Red Wings going to be a really good team this year.
Stop it! All of you.
I see him coming, buddy. Oh
no,
yeah,
we are. We are going to win more games. I do see us around the 86, 87 point mark this season.
I see him more.
I just when I look at that division or just the whole East there, I got Toronto
60 points now.
I got Toronto first. I got Boston second. I got Florida third, and then I got the Sabres fourth for the Atlantic. And then in the Metro, it's the Hurricanes and the Devils. You can interchange them at 1 and 2. Rangers are probably going to be 3. And then, so if we got to beat, or if we don't have to beat Buffalo, we do then have to go up against a retooled Pittsburgh Penguins, a solid Islanders squad, even though they're boring as hell to watch.
Yeah, they are, but they're
coherent. What about Detroit?
Well, I was going to say, and the back end surgeons when Vasilevsky comes back of the Lightning. So DeBrincat is nice. DeBrincat is the one piece that I've said to Matt too, that is, you want to see good Red Wing games again? There we go. We finally have the first line. Him, Raymond, and Larkin. Done. Yeah, Sider on the right side.
Who does DeBrincat play for now?
The Red Wings.
Oh, we traded a good package to get him back. Oh, yeah. And he's best friends with Larkin. So I am happy. Yeah,
they're looking good.
There's one more name.
Who is it?
There's one more name out there.
Preach on.
That I want Detroit to go trade for. It is a team that is selling. It is not the Chicago Blackhawks. Don't worry. It is a team that is selling. And if we are going to be competitive this year, this is the name that I want on the team. Put him on the second line. And then we can actually be something past this year. And then I don't care about our first round picks. I don't care about anything else after that.
Who is it?
Go get Travis Konecny from the Philadelphia Flyers. He is a first round prospect who has not been able to flourish properly. You put him on that second line and you allow him to go with, that is probably going to be Casper, Danielson, some of those other guys. Now, all of a sudden, Detroit's got a team. Because the first line is set. We have the first line. We have the depth at the defense as well. It's just that second line has too many rookies that need to develop right now in order for the team to be good. Go get Konecny. He's a proven 26, 27-year-old that fits right into the realm of the age that we're trying to have on the Red Wings. And then we can be competitive. But we already solidified the defense because Husso needs a fucking break. My God. I'm not set on Reimer as the backup, but that's neither here or there.
But that's, yeah.
Yeah, that's like whatever. We still got the developing Costa from where he played in the town that I live in and stuff, which is awesome. We're still, in my opinion, we're a year away. If we make the playoffs this year, I'm going to be happy.
I got them making the playoffs this year. There's a lot of additions now. I didn't know that. I didn't realize that the Brinkhead was there as well. But this team can easily go to the playoffs this year. Because
who I don't want though in the first round? Sorry to cut you off here. You know who I don't want though is where some of the guys from Detroit went to, and that's Toronto. If we go to the first round,
Toronto is going to choke like they potentially do anyway. It's Toronto. They always choke.
You'd want to meet them in the first round. That's when they have the highest chance of success against them.
I'm sorry. Do you not forget that they got Ty Domi's son now, who did play for the Red Wings, by the way,
and the Blackhawks last year briefly, but he did.
Yep,
missed that already.
Like, no. Sorry, they got Pat Domi. They got Bertuzzi.
They did
from the Red Wings. That's what I meant. My apologies.
Yeah,
and then they got. Already the other guy who used to be on the Golden Knights there, Reeves.
Mm-hmm.
They got a fourth line that can bang with anybody now. That scares me. It used to be all flash on Toronto, but it used to be all flash and Nylander can't go in the corner. That's okay. We got third line scorers and fourth line scorers. They don't have that no more. They got two lines that can score, a third line that we don't know what the fuck is going to be, if it's going to bang or if it's going to score, and then a fourth line. The second that comes out, you take your first and second line off the ice. And no one's had that against Toronto. That's a problem. That's a major problem.
Oh, I can't wait for hockey season.
Toronto. I got nothing to worry about.
Toronto. They suck.
All right, gentlemen.
They suck, eh?
Yeah.
They suck, eh?
They suck,
I love when the Americans say the Canadian. Gentlemen, first thing, thank you very much for being here.
Of course.
I love the conversation that we got to have tonight. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate a few people, obviously, in the comment section. I see Taylor was obviously in there shouting out some hockey talk there. So before I get you guys out of here, why don't, Harry, you tell everybody where they can find you and what you got going on here.
Well, first off, I want to give out a pick for you, Andrew.
Ooh,
I am having a phenomenal year this year. Look, it's just unbelievable. Look, who in the world would ever thought that the New York Jets are going to be an underdog to the Denver Broncos? I know they're on the road, and the Greek always talks about the sexy picks. Doesn't like them. He doesn't like home favorites. He's always like home dogs. But when you have arguably one of the best defenses in the National Football League going up against an offensive line that couldn't block the three of us going after Russell Wilson, I really like not just a small win. Play him on the money line and shove it all your chips in like you're on a poker table with both hands and both feet. This is the closest to a gift from the gambling gods that are bestowing upon us. It's that kind of game. Drew, I'm telling you, start laying the money down because New York beats this team easily. And I'll tell you what, thank you so much for having me on. You can catch me on Monday and Wednesdays live on the Sports Web. I'm the co-host of Peter Blake, talking Tampa Bay football and things that are on the National Football League. And on Sunday mornings, you can watch me on the Over-Under. I'm going to be on the Sports Web, Chicago Clubhouse Podcast, 1252 Sports. How we might even go ahead and share it right over here where the big board is at. And then we're going to give you the best picks around the National Football League. Come share it with me. Let's make some money. We're 31-8 this year. And by the way, Drew, I don't know if you knew this. Out of the 31 wins this year, 15 have been underdogs and on the money line.
Ooh. Yeah, you have been on a heater, my
9-1 last week, sir.
Yes, you were.
9-1 against the spread.
Yep. And I'll be calling in again on Sunday to get some of these picks and talk Buccaneers with you guys because as always, it is a fantastic time. It's a tradition that I used to do back in the day when I just first met Peter. So,
bro, let me tell you something, Andrew. You're awesome, Matt. I've never really been on a show with you, talking with you.
It's been great.
I love listening to you two talk hockey. I can almost just be a spectator. You guys will forget more about hockey than I'll learn. I have enough of my problems trying to handicap football and baseball, let alone hockey. I just go, hey, Drew, who do you like in this game? Okay, that's good. And that's exactly what I do.
I'm taking Bedard to have at least 1 point on his first game. So,
the guy's a dynamic playmaker. I mean, he's going to possess all the makings as a can't-miss NHL superstar. What he's done from the years of 16 years old up till now, I've never seen it. I'm 57 years old. But anyway, guys, much love. Drew, puff, puff, pass. Just think about me sometime. Hopefully we'll see you down here in Florida. Matt, we'll talk to you later. If you see Fat Mike, tell him I said what's up, brother.
Yeah, tell him. Yeah, and then so Matt, tell everybody where they can find you as well.
All right. Yeah, I'm Manning. I normally do stuff with Andrew Faubert. We haven't for a bit because life caught up to everybody and we had to work, and you can't really play hockey in the summer. But now that it's coming back, you might seeing our show back again, which was a one-timer hockey show.
One-timer.
That's it.
Not off the boards, damn it. Why did I never get it right?
But yeah, if you want to keep up with Connor Bedard's rising superstar career and hear definitely not a biased opinion about the Red Wings and the Blackhawks, definitely keep up with us because we'll definitely be doing more of those because there's going to be a lot to talk about for both teams this year.
Don't forget Cliff Pennington. You got to Google him.
Yep, I got him right here. Don't you worry. And so to everybody out there, of course, I am your host, Andrew Bear. Much love to everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to our guests for being here. We'll be back next Friday to break down a little bit of off-season stuff for some of these NFL teams. We'll talk a little bit of NBA. We'll have another guest on, already confirmed, unless they got other things to do, because we catch up to people, obviously. That's how it goes. But from my house to your sports nerds, much love. We'll talk to you later. Take care now. Bye-bye.
Hey, Drew.
Now. Yes?
Ready?
What?
Go BBB. Bears, Bucks, Blackhawks. See ya.
Hey, yo.
Peace.